Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I was thinking about what topic I want to discuss, and I need to do a bit of a test with my GoPro at the same time as well. So the last video I made was my sprints down by the factories video, and I think I recorded that in 5.3K on the GoPro, and I didn't have any issues with uploading it to the computer, and I managed to get it onto DaVinci Resolve 18 and I edited the video, but I think I made one mistake. I'm not sure how much this affects it, but basically when you put the video onto the computer, you can decide what quality you want the video to be made in, and it was made in 5.3K, but at one point it says, do you want to reduce the quality? So I think I might have said yes, so reduce it to 1080. And then later on then, when I go to publish the video, I said I wanted to publish it in like 4K. So then I think it asked something like, do you want to upscale it? So then it made it back up to good quality. So when you're watching a video, I think in the sky there's a bit of, I'm not sure how you can describe it, but there's a bit of distortion, I think, in the sky. It's not as clear as what I thought it should be. That could be because of that, or could also be maybe the lens is a bit foggy or a bit liquid on the lens, so it could be that as well. One other little tiny problem I had with making the video was I wanted to speed up the video because it takes 9 or 10 minutes to jog from my house to where it was, and I don't want to watch 9 minutes worth of video, so I wanted to speed that bit up. And then I did 10 sprints, but after seeing the first 2 or 3, you don't need to see the full 4, 5, 6 up and down, and with the few minutes worth of rest, jog back to the start. So I wanted to speed that up, and it asks you, do you want to do 50% of the speed, or 100%, 200%? And managed to do, I think, twice the speed, but anything faster than that, it was juttering and jittering. I'm not sure if you can go faster than that, so I need to play around with some adjustments. I think possibly, because the quality of the video is 5.3K, there's so much information and so much resolution on the tiny little, I've only got a laptop. It's a good laptop, it's working, but it's not a Hollywood laptop, so I think possibly it just struggled speeding up 5.3K. So maybe if I try and do 1080 or 4K, speed that up, it might work. So today I was thinking I need to test. I've been watching lots of videos and they're saying 4K is better than 1080, but most people watch it on the phones anyway, which is only 1080, so there's no point in doing 4K. But then if you do it 4K, it reduces it to 1080, so that's better. But then 4K uses more battery, more memory. So it's up and down, which do you use? So I want to do another test. Can I get away with doing 1080? Now I don't really want to do 1080 because I bought a GoPro 11 and it says you can do 4K. So why wouldn't I want to do 4K if it can do 4K? I've also just bought a new laptop and I know I can make videos in 5.3. So if I can do 5.3, reducing it to 4K might be in the middle, medium balance. So I want to just play around with a few settings, see what on average is the best battery life, what's the best quality, what's the best, doesn't use up too much storage on the memory cards, and then what's the fastest to produce the videos and get them out there, on average, on balance, which is the best overall. So at the moment this is 4K, 25 frames per second because I'm in the UK, so I can't do 30 because it makes the lights flicker. I've turned off horizon leveling and boost sensitive stabilization because it's on the tripod on the table. GPS is turned off, I don't need that, I'm not moving anywhere. Bluetooth's turned on, but I'm not connected to the phone because I've got it on the Volta hand grip. I've got a little light to the side, I've got the Rode VideoMicro microphone at the top, and I've got a linear, so it should be more of a square edge, not the fisheye edges. What else setting? I turned something else off as well. Hindsight's turned off. So basically it's 4K 25 frames per second. I'll do a few minutes on this video and then sometime in the video I might stop it and continue in 1080 just to see if there's any difference. I'll switch it to 1080, but that's the only change I'll make. I'll keep it the same frames per second and all that. So today I was thinking, what video do I want to make? How can I test the light, the camera, the microphone, the settings, and do a worthwhile video? Because two birds with one stone, might as well make the video that I want to make at the same time. I was just making some food. I was just boiling some eggs, and then I was flicking through my phone, and I got the idea of, I think I've definitely spoke to people about this before, but not sure if I've made a video about this before. Definitely one person I mentioned to it, and I'll say the words they said as well in a minute when I get to it. So I thought I'll make the video eggs. So not a very exciting video, not a very complicated video, but there's a few numbers I want to talk about, and it makes sense if you think about it. Well, it makes sense to me. And another thing is, I really want to change the way I am at the moment. So, just a little pause there. I want to say the words. Right, how can I say this? To some people, I might look fit, healthy, young, because obviously I'm someone who's older than me. I'm still young. People still call me a young man, but I'm not a young man. I'm almost 40, so it's sort of probably halfway through my life. I'm not as young as someone 20, obviously. So to some people, I might be really fit. They think I go for walks every day, jogs every day, bike every day, or sit-ups or exercises every day, and think I'm really fit. To other people who do fitness, I'm not actually that fit. Obviously, nobody's happy with their fitness level. Everybody wants to be better. Even Usain Bolt probably wants to be faster. World's Strongest Men want to be stronger. So when I was into strength, compared to the average person where I live, where I work and where I train, yeah, I probably was quite strong. I probably wasn't the strongest in every single lifting event, but I was pretty good at all of them. So to somebody who doesn't train, I was mega strong, but to the world class levels, I was not amazing at anything. Same now with running. So I can run 6 miles, 10 miles, half marathon, 16 miles was the furthest I did this year. No problems really, no special training plan to get there, no special nutrition plan the day before or during, or no help, no injuries after, just I can run and that's it. But to some people that's great, it's amazing, especially if you can't walk, if you're in a wheelchair. It's amazing, they're probably wishing they could do that type of thing. But if you look at my times, or splits is what people who go running like to use the word, how fast I do each mile or how fast I do the whole thing, it's nothing special. Shorter distances, I can run, like I can go fast 6-minute miles for a few minutes. I can do 7-minute miles for 3 mile or like 5k. I can do 8-minute miles for 4 or 5 miles. 6 miles or a 10k. I can do that in about, well, I'm not sure, about 45 minutes. That's with stopping for a gate and a fence and a thing. I've never done it in a run on a flat closed road, so I'm not sure. My Garmin says I could do it in about 42, 44 minutes, but I don't know. I don't know if I can gain an extra 2 minutes. Doesn't sound a lot, but an extra 2 minutes on 45 minutes. For me, I'm not sure if I could do that. So I want to change because I want to be as fast as what I think I could be. I want to be a bit stronger and a bit all this leaner and stuff. But I remember years ago, when I was in my 20s, up to 30, I think only in the last 9 years while I'm in my job now, I've started to drink coffee as much as I do on a regular basis. Like, I don't drink loads and loads and loads, but when I'm at work, some days in in a whole day, 5-10 coffees maybe, I don't know. And I have milk and sugar, so if you could think about 2 sugars times 10, 20 sugars. I don't have a lot of sweets and sugar as well as that, but it's still 10 sugars, 20 sugars, 30 sugars in a day, and 100 mils of milk. So it's a litre of milk, or it's quite a lot of milk if you think about it. It doesn't look like a lot in one cup, but over the week, over the month, over the year, those little changes add up. And I don't remember drinking coffee in my 20s. People just say to me, do you want a hot drink? No, they even stopped asking me because I don't have hot drinks. Bread, I never had bread years ago. I don't have a lot of bread now, but I still will have a bit of bread. So there's little things I've noticed that they've crept in slowly over the years, and now there's habit, and they haven't really affected me really, but I thought I was more of a machine, like a Spartan warrior before, where I didn't exercise. Sometimes I didn't do much exercise for certain events, but people just knew I was going to win this, I was going to win this. Or Steve will smash that, Steve can do this, Steve can do that. Now, if I do like an ab shot of myself for selfie, I've got to look in the mirror and find the right sunlight to get a cheat of getting my abs looking. Before, I didn't even know I had abs. Where I remember one time, this one lad said to me, "Oh, tense your stomach, Steve, and show." Like there's a couple of lads he wanted to impress, like look at Steve's abs. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not lifting them at the top, and I'm not tensing for. No, I'm not a poser. And then later on, then he goes, "Oh, Steve, look at that! You got some like a sticker stuck on your shoe." So I turned around and looked down like that, and just by turning and twisting, I must have tensed my obliques or some muscles on the side, and then straight away, it was a trick. It was, they did it on purpose just to make me go like that. I think another time I was tricked into look on the back of your arm, and I went like that, and my triceps just popped out. And little things like that where I had abs, I had triceps, I had back and stuff. People would comment on like if I was brushing my teeth, because I was in the army, by the way, so there was communal changing rooms and shower rooms, and you had your top off a lot. It's normal to be walking around with your top off. So you'd be brushing your teeth, and then later on you'd hear comments, "Oh, did you see Steve's back? And did you see the rippling muscles or whatever?" And now coming close to 40, I've got to tense and tone and look in the mirror and take like 10 shots to get the right angle. And I want to be how I used to be. I don't know if that's possible, but that's a goal. I will see if I can do it. So this morning I go back to the video topic, eggs. So this morning I was going to make some food, going to make some eggs, and I was boiling some eggs, and then what I do, I don't really have the egg white, yellow, the yolk. I just have the egg white, and I've done this for a while now. I just have the egg white. I have worked it out when I'm planning my diet and things, and when I was bodybuilding, people was asking me, how many eggs a day do you have? And I didn't really have eggs on the bodybuilding diet, so I didn't really calculate how much protein is in an egg years ago. It's only the last couple of years where I've started having eggs instead of protein drinks and chicken. And a few people have asked me, why don't I eat the yellow? The yellow's the best bit. And I told somebody one day, don't have the yellow, and they said, oh, that's the best bit. And I don't really think it is. So I've worked out today using my MyFitnessPal app. I put in 1 egg and 1 egg white, and I put in 3 eggs and 3 egg whites, and I put in something else as well, just to compare the calories and the protein and the fats. And I'm just going to discuss now why I think it's better to leave out the yolk and just have the egg white. And if you want to, if you still need certain protein levels, so you can play around the numbers, you can have more egg whites to cover the egg yolk. But I'll talk about how it's better but not as bad. So what I'll do now is I'll just flick the camera off. So I'll just press the button down here, and then I'm going to change it to 1080 keep the other settings the same, and I'll continue the video in 1080 and talk about my figures. So hang on a minute, wait a minute. Okay, so just a 5-second pause of the video there. This is now 1080, but still 25 frames per second in linear mode, so still square. So back into the eggs. Okay, so here I've got an example of what I've done. I'll show you in a minute. There's the eggs, okay, chopped up, ready to go. And I just want to talk about why I do what I do, and then the figures and things. So all I do, I get a normal egg, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many eggs you like. Boil them in a saucepan. Your normal, basically, I'm not going to teach you how to boil eggs, but I do mine for about 10 to 12 minutes. So you don't want a yellow runny yolk, runny yellow. You want to have it so quite hard. So actually, I think I did these for 11 minutes today, and probably need to do them for a little bit longer, because the yellow on that side, which is pretty firm, and then that side there, it's like 10 or 20%, whatever, less yellowed. You see there's a bit of a different colour. If it was done any less than that, there's a possibility that when you crack them open, it might be liquid and it might still run out. I don't want that to happen. I want them to have it so it's so solid, they're like this, a ball, and you can just pop it out. So what I do is I boil my eggs, like I said, 11, 12 minutes. More's the better. Crack them open gently so they're just solid egg boiled, and then get a sharp knife, and if you run it around the edge of it, just enough in so it cuts deep through the white but just to the yellow, then hopefully then, these aren't the matching two, but you get the egg, you chop it, and hopefully you're going to pull it apart, and then either the egg yellow will fall out, or you might just have to pluck it out a little bit, but it's a solid ball so it'll just fall out. And then you've got two yellow halves here, no, white halves you can eat. So it's the egg white part that you just chopped out, I guess. It's still the same, tastes the same, looks the same, feels the same. It's an egg. You can have it in your salad or on your toast. The only difference is you haven't got this bit. That's the only difference, okay? So hang on, we'll just touch the screen, make sure I'm on shot. Yeah, the only bit you're missing is this bit. So this bit, does it taste of anything? Yeah, a little bit. Does it fill you up? Not really. Even 2 of them is not going to fill me up. 3 of them is not going to fill me up. It's not really. So let's compare. So if you eat that, or if you eat that, it's not really, think about it, a lot of difference, is it? Not a massive amount. You know, I could still eat 3 of them easy and not really tell much difference. And I say the taste, does it really taste a lot? Well, I don't think it tastes a lot, but a lot of people, most people, probably put salt on it and pepper on it and even tomato sauce on it. So you can't even taste the egg anyway. You can only taste whatever sauce or whatever you put on it. If it's runny, obviously you can dip your bread into it, but we're on a diet now, we're thinking about calories and reaching your macros, so you probably shouldn't be having bread anyway. You're probably going to leave half of that yellow on the plate, because unless you use your bread to mop it up, you probably wasted half of it. And if you have it where it is like this, a solid egg yellow, it's dry. So if you don't have any sauce with it, you're going to be coughing. It's dry. It's horrible anyway. So you need some sauce with it, which is extra calories, extra sugars, extra fat and salts. So if you're really on a strict diet like a bodybuilder, when you don't have salt, you don't have tomato sauce, it's dry. It's going to be horrible. So really, I can't see any goodness about eating that bit. People say, oh yeah, well, that's where all the nutrition is, all the value, all the goodness, all the vitamins and minerals. Well, possibly, you might be right, but I'm not going to go into details about how much vitamins and minerals are in an egg, but is it really that much vitamins and minerals in egg? Are you going to die because you didn't eat the vitamins and minerals in the egg? Probably not. if you really need that much vitamins and minerals in your life, you should probably take a vitamin supplement or have other food which will have that vitamin and mineral in it as well. I can't see why you'd be desperate. You have to have this egg in your life. Doctors, I've never heard of a doctor prescribing eggs and saying you must eat egg yellow. There was a bit of an argument or debate about how much yellow you can have. I haven't got any recent research here, but I think the last time I read up on about it, 1 to 2 egg yellows a day would probably be a good idea. Anything more than 2 or 3 yellows a day, probably not a good idea because of cholesterol. I have heard of at least 1 or 2 people who are arguing about why egg yellows are good, but they've got bad cholesterol. So I don't really take advice off anybody who's got the badness in their body already. How can you give me advice on what is good about an egg, but I know for a fact you've got high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and other badness which are related to eggs? Doesn't make sense. So I don't think you're missing out on anything. I think you've got to have extra salt and sauces on it to make it better. So really, you're better off without it. So we'll talk about 1 egg to start with, and then I'll say, okay, let's have 3 eggs, because you're not going to have 1 egg. It's not worth boiling the pan for 1. I'd rather do without. It's going to cost you more energy to make the egg and the heating up of it and the gas bill and stuff than it is just to sit there and don't eat at all. So 1 egg, I've got 1 medium egg because that's what's come up when I scanned the barcode on the box. It's called 1 medium egg. So whatever country you're in, whatever size medium egg it is, 1 medium egg, a whole egg white and egg yellow. Now if you cook it, fry it, boil it, poach it, scramble it, we're talking the same numbers really, because an egg's an egg. If you've got a boiled egg or a fried egg, yeah, you got the fat which goes in it, but I'm talking about the content of the egg, not the fat as well. So let's just pretend, for argument's sake, that it doesn't matter how you cook it, it's all the same. Because yeah, okay, the heat of the temperature of the thing's going to break down the proteins, and but that chicken's bigger than that chicken, and let's just say an egg's an egg. 1 medium egg. I've got here that there's 60 calories in 1 egg. 7 grams of protein, 0 carbs, so it's carb free, no carbs in it, and 4 grams of fat. Okay, I haven't looked into it if it's saturated fat or whatever. Let's just say fat's fat. So there's the figures. 60. You're probably going to have 3 eggs, or 2 eggs, or 3 eggs, so 120 calories or 180 calories. 14 grams of protein, or multiply it however you want. 1 egg white, however, instead of 60 calories, it's only got 17. So 43 calories less. So depending on what type of diet you're on, if you're on a protein diet, a carb diet, a fat diet, or just an overall calories diet, or even if you just want to do like a run and work out how many calories in your mind do I need to run to burn off, just think of it this way: 1 egg is 60, or an egg white is 17. So you could round up to 20 and call it a third. So you could basically have 3 egg whites to 1 egg whole. 43 calories less. So if you're on a diet and you want to have 2,000 calories a day, now as your diet gets harder and harder and harder and stricter and less and less and less, to squeeze in enough food in the day to reach 2,000 calories exact and to make it worthwhile of cooking certain foods and things, sometimes it's quite hard. And you'll be thinking, oh no, I need to cut something out of my diet, but I don't know what I can cut out. There's nothing else I can cut out and make it worthwhile of cooking and stuff. But just for changing, take the yellow out and just having just the white, you chopped off 43 calories straight away. You're not going to be much you're not going to feel much fuller having the egg yellow, really. It's not much effort to cut it in half, chop the yellow out. Protein, because you might be on a high protein diet or watching what protein intake you have. Protein in an egg with the yellow is 7. Protein with just the white, 3.6. So it's half. So you haven't lost all the protein. You've still got half of the protein. So you've lost half of the protein in the yellow. Okay, there is goodness, there is protein in the yellow, but not all of it. Half of it is still in the white. Carbs. This is a bit of a mistake here, not a mistake on my part, but because I've used two different sources of information, I've got the whole egg figures from the box of egg. It says carbs 0. When I got the egg white, I got it off MyFitnessPal. I'm not sure if I barcoded it or just scanned it somewhere. It says that one egg white has got 0.2 grams of carbs. How can it have more carbs in just the white than it did in the white and the yellow? There might be a mistake on the source, or it could be that the egg box has rounded down the 0.2 to 0. It might be that. So, but basically you say 0.2, it's under half a gram. Let's just call it 0, shall we? There's no carbs in egg or egg white. So it's no difference. If you don't have the yellow or have the yellow, there's no difference. You're not going to feel any more energy from a carb. There is no carbs. There's no carbs means there's no sugar as well. So if you're on a low carb diet, a low sugar diet, you can have as much egg as you like really, because it's not going to make a difference either way. And then fat. So all the goodness in the yellow, there's 4 grams of fat in the yellow. 4 grams isn't going to make much difference for your diet, but in egg white there's 0.1. So pretty much almost fat free as well. There's carb free, fat free. It's just a ball of protein. 3.6 grams of protein, that's all it is. Pure protein basically. So you're not going to have one egg or one egg white. So let's say 3. So quickly go through these figures again. If you had 3 eggs, the whole bit is 180 calories, but 3 egg whites is only 51. So if you're on a carb diet, a calorie diet, you're watching your calories, you can go from 180 calories to 51, just like that. Just by not eating the yellow. You'll still feel like you're eating an egg, it still looks like you're eating an egg, just you're eating a little bit less of it, and you're cutting out 129 calories, just like that. Protein. So you're going from 21 grams in 3 eggs to 10.8. Like I said, it's about half. So yeah, you are cutting out half your protein, but it's not all out. So you haven't lost all your protein. You still are going to have a decent amount if you cut out the yellow bit. Carbs, I said it was 0, but now it's saying it's 0.7. So like I said, there's a bit of a fault in the figures there. It's still under 1 gram, so let's just call that a 0. Obviously, if you had 10 of them or 20 of them, that figure might creep up a little bit. So it'll be 7 grams, and it does add up, but I think there might be a mistake there. So we'll say 0. You lost 0, you haven't had any 0. Fat then, if you had 3 eggs, so 4 times 3, 12. 3 eggs, you'd have 12 grams of fat. In the egg white alone, it's going to be, I did say 0.1, now I should say 0.2. So again, I don't know how much rounding up they've done, what sources I've used. I mean source, not sources. So basically, it's pretty much fat free as well. There's hardly anything. If it's less than 1 gram, we're talking like pretty much fat free. So yeah, you're only having 10 grams of protein, not 20, but you're having 0 carbs, 0 fat. So what does that mean then? It means if you're on a fat diet and you need to have 50 grams or 100 grams of fat, you've cut it out straight away. So you can have as much eggs as you like. Well, more eggs. You have 5 eggs or 10 eggs. It's not going to make any difference to the fat amount you allowed in the day. If your personal trainer says to you to make sure you only have 100 grams or 200 grams or 300 grams of carbs a day, eggs are then carb free. So you can have as many of them as you like. I don't mean as many, obviously, being realistic. You can have 2 or 3, snack on 5, or have your teas 5 or 10. It's not going to make it much difference because it's carb free, fat free. It's just the protein. So, like I said, it's got half as much protein, So you're going to up the protein, because if I say you need to have a certain amount of protein in a day, you need to get that in. So how many eggs can you have equivalent? So instead of having 3 eggs, chop out the yellow bit and have 6 egg whites. It's not going to cost a lot of money, really. What's a 6 eggs cost? Not a lot. A bit of waste, you know, you're going to have to boil it up and chop it out and chuck it away. But it's just 6 of these little yellow bits. It's not going to take up much space in the bin. You recycle it. You could probably feed it to a pet animal, or give it to someone else if you do really want it. So 6 eggs, 103 calories. It's still 77 calories less than if you had 3 eggs. Protein is 21.6, so now we're up. So 6 egg whites, you got 0.6 grams more protein than 3 eggs, but you've cut out your calories. Carbs, I said there's a bit of a problem here. Now 6 eggs has come up as 1.4 grams of carbs. I think that's a mistake, like I said, so let's just call it 0. And fat is 0.3. It's under a gram, it's under half a gram, so we can almost call that fat free. So if you had 6 egg whites, we're saving 77 calories. You're up a little tiny bit on your protein. You've got no carbs, no fats. So from a fat diet, a carb diet, a calorie diet, or you're watching your protein intake, I reckon that's good all the way. Yeah, you're not getting your vitamins and your minerals from the yellow bit, but have a supplement anyway. You probably need a supplement anyway. Or you should be having other leafy green vegetables which will have the vitamins and minerals as well. Or here's another little trick for you. Some peanut butter. So 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 15 grams. You're probably not going to measure it, weigh it, because it's quite hard to get it off the spoon. But 15 grams, 1 tablespoon, it's 142 calories. 5.4 grams of protein. There's 2.2 grams of carbs, so not a lot of carbs, and there's 12 grams of fat. So if you really did miss the fat from the eggs, you can have the fat from the peanut butter, because you do need fat in your life. Your skin health, your hair health, your eyesight and your organs run off fat. So if your personal trainer has said to you, make sure you hit this many calories, this much protein, this much carbs and this much fat, and they'll let you play around with it. So you can go to MyFitnessPal app and adjust how much intake you can have. Yeah, you've lost your fat and your protein and your carbs from your eggs, because you're only having the egg white. So now you're thinking, I need to up my protein game a little bit. So then you can have some peanut butter. 1 tablespoon of peanut butter will give you an extra 5 grams of protein, and it'll give you the 12 grams of fat back, which you didn't get from your egg. So Steve, why bother messing around? Because you're taking away your 12 grams of fat from your egg, but you're giving it back in peanut butter. Well, why bother doing that? It's 2 lots of spoons you've got to make a mess of. It's 2 products you've got to buy. But here's the thing. When you're on a diet, I don't know if you've been on a serious diet, but when you're on a really strict diet and you're low in body fat and you're coming up to bodybuilding competition and you're a few weeks out, your body fat level's real low, your energy level's real low, you start craving things. You want things. You haven't had an alcoholic drink for 10 weeks. You haven't been to any parties. You haven't eaten bread. You haven't had any cereals or jams or sugars. You crave things and you really want things. And normally, your body craves the things which is lacking, or it wants things more. And that's why you get addicted. So you have a bit of jam and you like the taste. So you have more. You cheat on it. Peanut butter tastes really nice, especially when you're on a diet and you're craving all these things. So by having a bit of peanut butter and an egg white is better than having just an egg. You're getting the goodness from the white, you're not getting the badness from the yellow, but you're getting the same from the peanut butter. And the peanut butter is actually, I know it is good fats. It's not bad as in like animal fats. It's not really thick liquid fat. It's a vegetable. Peanuts. It's quite good. It's got some vitamins, it's got some minerals, it's got some protein, it's got some goodness, and it'll balance out your figures. And you can play around with it as well. You can have half a spoonful or 1/2 spoonfuls, so you can play around in the figures and get them up to wherever you need. So say now you're going to have the 6 egg whites and some peanut butter. So this is where I'm going to talk about you can play around with your figures. That's going to boost up your calories to 245, a bit more than the 3 eggs to start with. The protein is now 27, so it's a bit more than what it was. Carbs is still 3.6, so a tiny bit of carbs from the peanut butter, but not a lot. And fats is now 12.3, so say like it's the same. To some people, that might have boosted your snack a bit too high. 245 grams, I don't know what kind of snack you want, but if it's like a post-workout or before you go to bed, you might want to just hit 200 calories for a snack. I don't know what your figures are. We're trying to compare one to the other. So Steve, that's actually more than that is. Well, okay, let's bring it down a little bit, but make it even so it's all the same. So if you just add 3 egg whites, chuck away the yellow, and have a spoonful of peanut butter. Now you're talking 193 calories. Eggs 180, so 13 up. That's hardly any difference. I can live with that. You can find 13 somewhere. Protein 16.2. Tiny little bit less than having eggs. Not a lot more, not a lot difference. If you want to, you can make the spoon a little bit bigger. It's not going to make much difference. An egg is an egg, but some eggs are different. So we're playing around these figures. These aren't exact figures. They're just numbers we're going to go off. Carbs 2.9. So you've got a bit of carbs. You need some carbs. You can't live without 0 carbs. So I can live with 2.9. We can easily cut it down a little bit or add it up a little bit more. We can work it out later on and chop out some rice, have a bit less. So we're all good there. And then fat 12.2. So I said before, 3 eggs is 12. This is now 12.2. Take away the 0.2 because it's just numbers. We're playing around here. Now we're reaching the same amount of calories, basically the same amount of protein, basically the same amount of fat, no carbs, but you've had 2 different sources of food. You've had some eggs and some peanut butter. So your brain is getting the niceness from the peanut butter. It's not getting the dryness from the egg yellow. You haven't cheated with tomato sauce and salt and sugar. And I think that is a better way of doing it. Having you're saving a bit of energy from the egg yellow. You're not going to notice it any different. You're not going to feel any less full. So just have the egg white. And then later on in the day, you can have a second snack on peanut butter. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 1 spoon of peanut butter before bed just keeps the cravings going. You know if you're starving, you're hungry before you go to bed, you've got something to look forward to. It's okay. I'll have 1 spoon of peanut butter before I go to bed. That'll take me over for the night. I can wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. Start again. 1 day closer to competition or weigh-in or whatever you're aiming at. Honestly, 2 sources of food is better than 1 source of food. And that's why I have eggs like I do. There's a long-winded way of explaining. Steve, why don't you eat your yellows? Because I don't like them. I don't want them. But that's why. You can compare. You can adjust. There is a reason behind my logic. And like I said, I want to go back to what I was like 10 years ago, like a Spartan machine warrior, where I didn't have stuff in my life. I lived very basic. I didn't have coffee. Actually, I didn't have any coffee, so I didn't have my milk, didn't have sugar. I'd have water or blackcurrant. Cereal would be just porridge. I wouldn't have other stuff for breakfast. I'd never have a fry-up cooked breakfast. I just have porridge. Bodybuilding time would be chicken and rice, bit of broccoli maybe. But basic stuff. All these fancy stuff. The more things you have in your diet, so if you have these really posh looking chef made meals, you can't do that. It's impossible. You see everyone's photos of look at my food. I think it's just to suck you in. I want to have that nice food. He's looking muscly. I want to eat whatever he's eating because it must work. Please sell me your diet plan to... By the time you buy his diet plan and then you make it, unless you're a chef, it's not going to work like that. And if you've got time to be making all these meals, after week 2, week 3, week 4, it'll still be monotonous of eating the same foods over and over again. There's only so many types of food you can make. So just eat plain food and you'll actually enjoy sticking on a strict diet. And the longer it goes on for, you know you're doing good because you'll see the results, you know it's doable, and also you get a good feeling that you're strict and you're doing something, and someone else isn't strict and they're getting these crap results and they're thinking, well, Steve, how are you getting results and I'm not? Because I'm doing it the hard way. I'm sticking to my diet, strict, chicken rice. A few people now are starting to have pork and they're having other meats and things, and I'm thinking, I can't think anywhere where I've seen a bodybuilding diet. Well, obviously I've seen some complicated bodybuilding diets with all sorts of food on it on Instagram, but in every fitness magazine I always saw chicken, turkey, tuna, fish, beef maybe, but it depends how you cook it. Like lean beef, lean minced steak, not like 15-25% fat meat, so it has to be 5%. Some people are saying turkey's good, but I never really saw pork on a diet for bodybuilding. And then whenever you go to bodybuilding shows, you see people with Tupperware boxes. They got the chicken and rice, maybe some broccoli. It was always plain white rice. It wasn't brown rice really. Maybe spinach or kale, but it's normally broccoli because spinach and kale go soggy after a while. But all these fancy foods you see on Instagram, when you go to bodybuilding competition and you see the massive blokes, what they're eating, it is basically basic. And I've never seen someone ripping out a pork chop or pork belly, pork loin belly, or belly fat. Why would you eat belly fat? Pork belly. Even the name just doesn't sound right. Maybe the figures work out that pork is actually quite high in protein, and if you chop the fat off it, then it is fat, not as high in fat as I think. But I know that the people I'm talking about do eat it with the fat on it, with the gristle and the pork scratching they turn it into. So yeah, I'm going to go back to basic as I can foods, basic plain, and then go back to being a machine again. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. I've done a bit of a test filming in 4K. I've done a bit of a test filming in 1080. I can load them both up, but I want to see if there is a difference. There is the video Rode microphone. There is a light I've used from Ulanzi. I'm using the video GoPro Media Mod. So the video Rode microphone clips onto the top of the Media Mod, and the Ulanzi light clips onto the side of the Media Mod there. It's on the GoPro Volta. I don't really need it on the battery. I got full charge of battery, but the Volta works as a power button, so I can just press like on, off, or change the source down the bottom. Source, I mean like not tomato sauce. I mean input source from photo to video down there, and it works as a good tripod. And actually, by the time I'm talking about it, my eggs have gone cold. But the good thing is, bodybuilders eat food cold. Chicken cold, broccoli cold, rice, yeah, you can eat rice cold. Egg whites, yeah, you can eat that cold. So I'm gonna go now, pretty much 20 to 3, pretty much straight away. Actually, I'm gonna go and stick the memory card into the laptop, save the video to the computer. I'll then whack it straight into DaVinci Resolve. I might do, well, actually they're different times. I'll have a quick look just to see which one's uploading fastest. I can't time it because the 1080p thing I think has gone on for longer. I'm not going to bother working out per minute. I'll have a quick look, see which one uploaded the quickest. And there's just a couple of minor little notes of which one was like harder to edit. And then I'll put it onto YouTube. I'll see if it uploads. It'll be one video on YouTube. I'm not going to cut into two. So I'll just see, does it upload decent? Because the last video I did was in 5.3 and I think there's a bit of a teething problem. So hopefully everything's all good. Hopefully I get another video content uploaded to YouTube and the vlog, and hopefully this has sounded pretty decent, the light was pretty decent, and the picture's all decent. Should be coming together now. I'm going to stick with YouTube, not other medias. I saw a new one today. I think Twitch is for games, so if you're going to stream in live onto, I don't play games. And there's another one now, Kick something. I saw a live stream with somebody talking on there. I'm not really going to Kick. You can make a community with people talking and things. I'm going to stick to YouTube. Hopefully it uploads, and next video coming up will be, I'm not sure the topic, I'm not sure when it'll be, but stay tuned, like, subscribe, and message me any comments or questions you have. Okay, thanks a lot. See you later.